Welcome back, everyone, to episode 21 of our Gold Mining from Scratch series here on a massive Yukon Valley 16X map. In today's episode, we're going to be heading back into the Hillside Cut to continue mining and racing the clock to mine as much gold before winter finally arrives. Last episode was another huge step forward for our mining operation as we continued working around the clock at the Hillside Cut. Our wash plant, Slucifer, was running almost non-stop as we hauled in massive amounts of pay dirt and completed multiple gold cleanouts throughout the day. By the end of the episode, we had officially produced and sold 249 gold bars, bringing in an incredible $8,300,000 payday. By far the biggest gold sale we've ever had here in Yukon Valley. We also made some major changes down inside the Hillside Cut. We completely mined out the third section of the pit, removed our old haul roads, and built an entirely new truck route that now has our fleet entering and exiting from the south side of the cut. Those changes have allowed us to start mining the remaining paid dirt around the old access roads, while keeping our rock trucks running much more efficiently. Now, as we begin today's episode, winter is just around the corner. Temperatures are beginning to drop here in the Yukon, and I have a good feeling this will officially be our final mining day of the season. Once the snow starts falling and the ground freezes solid, our entire operation will be forced to shut down until next spring. That means every bucket of pay dirt we can move today and every ounce of gold we can recover before winter arrives is going to count. We've had an incredible first season building this gold mine from scratch, and today we'll be pushing our equipment to the limit one last time before Mother Nature finally brings our mining season to an end. To kick things off today, we're starting the morning inside our portable mining office as we check in on the latest weather forecast, and unfortunately, it isn't looking very promising. According to the forecast, a major snowstorm is expected to roll into the Yukon early tomorrow morning at around 5 a.m., and once that storm arrives, our first mining season will officially come to an end. Temperatures are expected to plummet well below freezing. The ground will begin freezing solid, and our wash plant won't be able to continue operating. That means every single minute between now and sunrise tomorrow morning is incredibly valuable, and we're going to spend every second we can pulling as much gold out of the ground as possible before Mother Nature finally forces us to shut everything down for the winter. Before we head back over to the Hillside Cut, I'd like to make one quick stop at our gold cleaning rooms and gold smelters. Over the past several days, these productions have been working around the clock processing all of the gold concentrate we've recovered from Slucifer. The cleaning rooms have been turning that concentrate into gold jars, and we've been delivering those jars over to our smelters where they're being melted down into gold bars. Before we start another long shift, I'll make sure every gold jar that's finished processing gets delivered to the smelters so they can continue producing gold bars right up until the very last minute before we shut everything down for the winter. Every additional gold bar we can produce before the storm arrives is going to add even more money to our final payday of year one. Once that's taken care of, we'll hop onto our Can-Am Outlander 1000 and make our way back over to Slucifer. We'll fire up the wash plant, the hopper feeder system, and our radial stacker conveyor for what will more than likely be the final time this season. Once the plant is fully operational again, we'll head down into the Hillside Cut and get our fleet of 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks fired back up. Last episode, we completely redesigned all of our auto drive routes, and now our trucks enter and exit the cut from the south side, allowing us to begin mining the old haul roads that we couldn't reach before. Once all 4 trucks are moving again, I'll climb into our Volvo EC950 excavator and get back to digging pay dirt so we can keep Slucifer supplied with as much material as possible throughout the day and into the night. Last episode also marked a huge milestone for our mining operation. We sold off 249 gold bars and brought in an incredible $8.3 million payday, pushing our bank account to well over $9 million. It's honestly incredible to look back at how far we've come over the course of our very first mining season. We started this series with nothing more than a small operation over at the Lone Wolf Creek Cut, and since then we've expanded into the much larger Hillside Cut, upgraded nearly every piece of equipment on the mine, and slowly transformed this operation into a highly efficient gold-producing machine. Every improvement we've made throughout year one has paid off, and we've now reached the point where we're producing more gold than I ever imagined we would during our first season here in the Yukon. And the best part is, we're only just getting started. Looking ahead to year two, I already have some massive expansion plans in mind. Rather than simply continuing to grow the Hillside Cut, I'd like to begin prospecting for an entirely new section of ground and open what will become our biggest mining cut yet. It'll need to be significantly larger than the Hillside Cut to accommodate the scale of operation I have planned. And thanks to the millions of dollars we've earned throughout this season, we should finally have the capital needed to make that dream a reality. But before we start thinking about next season, we still have one final job to finish here at the Hillside Cut. Thanks to the new haul roads we built in the last episode, we're finally able to excavate all of the paid dirt that was left behind underneath our old access roads. This is the final section of ground remaining in the center of the pit, and even if winter stops us before we completely finish it, we'll return here as soon as everything thaws out next spring, so we can immediately continue mining while we begin planning our next expansion. For today, though, there's only one goal: keep mining until the snow forces us to stop. Last episode, we completed our very first overnight shift, and it proved to be a huge success. So tonight we're going to do it all over again. We'll keep the excavator digging, the rock trucks hauling, and Slucifer washing pay dirt all night long right up until the moment that first snowfall arrives. Then, once the storm finally shuts us down, we'll park every machine back at the mining camp, collect every last gold bar we've managed to produce, and make one final trip into town for the last gold sale of year one. We've got a lot of work to do, a snowstorm closing in, and only one night left to mine. Let's fire up the engines and get to work. If you're enjoying the Yukon Valley 16X gold mining series so far, make sure to like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next. At this point, we've just about completely mined out the north section of the old access road, and we're making some great progress through what's left of the Hillside Cut. Once we finish removing the last of the pay dirt from this section, it'll be time to reposition our Volvo EC950 excavator and begin working our way down the east side of the cut where the remainder of the old haul road used to be. This is all ground that we couldn't reach earlier in the season while our rock trucks were still driving through the middle of the cut. So it's nice to finally be able to recover all of the gold that was left behind underneath those old roads. Before we move the excavator any farther though, I'll need to make a few adjustments to our hauling operation. As I continue working farther away from our current loading area, the rock trucks have to drive farther and farther before they can get underneath the excavator, which starts creating unnecessary downtime. To keep everything running as efficiently as possible, I'm going to create a brand new auto drive loading trigger a little farther back inside the cut. Once that's finished, I'll quickly hop into each one of our 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks and update them so they're all using the new loading location. That should keep the trucks cycling smoothly and allow the excavator to spend more time digging pay dirt instead of waiting for trucks to arrive. After all 4 trucks have been switched over to the new loading area, we'll climb back into the Volvo EC950 and continue feeding paid dirt into Slucifer as we work our way deeper into the Hillside Cut. Now that we're getting toward the end of year one, the days are becoming noticeably shorter here in the Yukon. The sun is already beginning to disappear behind the mountains, which means we've got another long night shift ahead of us. That worked out really well in the last episode, So tonight we'll do exactly the same thing. We'll fire up all of our work lights, keep the excavator digging, keep the rock trucks hauling, and continue mining right through the night. With that snowstorm expected to arrive before sunrise, every truckload of pay dirt we can wash tonight is another opportunity to recover just a little more gold before winter finally shuts our operation down for the season. Well, I've actually made another round of changes to our auto drive routes, and I think this latest layout is going to work much better. Now that we've almost completely mined out the north side of the Hillside Cut, we've opened up a lot more room for our rock trucks to maneuver around inside the pit. I've extended the haul routes, so the trucks can now use that newly cleared area to pull up alongside the east face of the cut, where I'll be loading them with the excavator. Once they're full, they'll swing around through the space we just mined out on the north side before heading back up the exit ramp and over to Slucifer. Every time we mine another section of this cut, it seems like the entire operation evolves right along with it. It's definitely taken a bit of trial and error throughout the season, but I'd say we've finally reached a point where our hauling system is working exactly the way I envisioned when we first started expanding the Hillside Cut. With this new loading area now in place, I should be able to clean up the last few scoops of pay dirt from the north section before repositioning the Volvo EC950 excavator and continuing our way down the east side of the cut. While I was making those changes, I also noticed something else that needs our attention. A few of our Volvo A60H rock trucks are starting to get pretty low on fuel after running almost non-stop over the past several episodes. The last thing I want is to have one of these trucks run out of diesel right in the middle of the haul route, especially with winter closing in and every minute of mining counting toward our final gold production for the season. So before we dive back into the pit, I'll bring each truck that's getting low over to the diesel tank at our mining camp and top them off one by one. It shouldn't take long, and it'll give us the peace of mind that all 4 trucks are fueled up and ready to keep hauling through the rest of the night. Once that's done, we'll head straight back into the Hillside Cut, fire everything back up, and continue pulling as much pay dirt out of the ground as we possibly can before the snowstorm finally rolls into the Yukon and brings our first mining season to an end. Well, it looks like we've officially filled the sluice boxes on Slucifer for the first time today, which means it's time for another gold cleanout. Judging by the amount of concentrate we've recovered, this has been another very productive stretch of mining because we just pulled 18 more buckets of gold concentrate out of the wash plant. That's another huge step toward building up one final stockpile of gold before winter finally shuts us down. Before I head over to the gold cleaning rooms, though, I'll get Slucifer sealed back up and fire the entire wash plant back in operation. Our hopper feeder, conveyors, and radial stacker are all still loaded with pay dirt, and we've already got a lineup of Volvo A60H rock trucks waiting to unload more material into the hopper. The last thing I want to do right now is leave the wash plant sitting idle, especially with the temperature dropping so quickly here in the Yukon. With the snowstorm expected to arrive before sunrise, every minute the plant isn't running is another minute we're not recovering gold. There's also another reason I'd rather keep everything operating continuously. The temperatures are falling rapidly now, and I really don't want to risk leaving the wash plant shut down long enough for the water inside the system to start freezing. If that happens, we'd be looking at a much bigger problem than just a short delay. So we'll keep everything running continuously right up until Mother Nature finally forces us to shut the operation down. Once the wash plant is back up and processing pay dirt again, we'll load all 18 buckets of gold concentrate into the truck and make our way back over to the mining camp. As soon as we arrive, we'll unload everything into the gold cleaning rooms so they can begin processing the concentrate immediately. My goal is to have every bucket of concentrate we've recovered today cleaned, turned into gold jars, and delivered over to the gold smelters before morning arrives. That way, when the snow finally rolls in and our first mining season comes to an end, we'll have every possible ounce of gold processed and ready for one final trip into town to close out year one with one last massive payday. Well, it looks like we've already managed to fill the sluice boxes on Slucifer for the second time today, which is another great sign that our mining operation has been running incredibly well. Before I shut the wash plant down for another clean out though, I'd like to make one quick stop back inside the Hillside Cut and make sure all 4 of our Volvo A60H rock trucks are completely loaded with pay dirt. That way, by the time I return from cleaning out the wash plant, every truck will already be lined up on the unloading ramp waiting to dump fresh material into the hopper feeder system, allowing us to get the plant back up and running almost immediately. Once I pull all of the gold concentrate out of Slucifer, I'll get everything sealed back up and restart the wash plant as quickly as possible. At this point, I'm trying to avoid shutting the plant down for any longer than absolutely necessary. The temperatures are continuing to drop here in the Yukon, and with freezing weather just around the corner, I don't want to risk any of the water inside the wash plant freezing up before the blizzard even arrives. If that happened, our year 1 mining season would come to an end a lot sooner than I planned, and I'd really like to squeeze every last ounce of gold out of this cut before Mother Nature finally forces us to shut everything down. Speaking of the weather, we're now only about 8 hours away from when the forecast says that snowstorm is expected to hit the Yukon. That means we're officially in the final stretch of our first mining season, and from this point forward, it's all about maximizing production. Every truckload of paid dirt we haul, every bucket of concentrate we recover, and every gold bar we produce between now and sunrise is going to increase the size of our final payday before winter arrives. On top of keeping the mining operation running, I also need to make sure our gold cleaning rooms and gold smelters stay working at full capacity. I want every bucket of concentrate we recover tonight to be processed into gold jars, melted down into gold bars, and ready to load onto the trailer first thing in the morning. Once the snow finally begins falling and the Hillside Cut shuts down for the winter, we'll make one final trip into town and sell off every gold bar we've managed to produce, bringing year 1 to a close with one last massive payday. We're now down to just a couple of hours before that snowstorm is expected to roll into the Yukon Valley. And I'd have to say it's starting to feel like a race against the clock. Every minute we can keep this operation running is another opportunity to recover a little more gold before year one officially comes to an end. Taking a quick look over at Slucifer, it looks like we've managed to fill the sluice boxes once again. I can see the pay dirt beginning to back up inside the wash plant, and the tailings have completely stopped flowing out the back, so it's definitely time for another clean out. Before I shut the plant down though, I'm going to make one more trip down into the Hillside Cut and get all 4 of our Volvo A60H rock trucks completely loaded with pay dirt. That way, by the time I finish cleaning out the sluice boxes, every truck will already be lined up on the unloading ramp waiting to dump straight into the hopper feeder system. My goal is to have Slucifer shut down for as little time as possible so we can get right back to washing pay dirt. I'm not exactly sure how accurate the weather forecast is going to be, but I'm not willing to take any chances. As long as the weather holds, we're going to keep this entire mining operation running right up until the moment that first snowfall reaches the mine. Once the concentrate is removed from Slucifer, we'll haul it back over to our gold cleaning rooms. Unload everything so it can begin processing immediately. And while we're there, I'll also move any finished gold jars over to the gold smelters so they can continue producing gold bars. After that, we'll head straight back to the wash plant, fire Slucifer back up one more time, and see just how much more pay dirt we can process before the snow finally arrives. With only a few hours left in our first mining season, every bucket of concentrate we recover now could mean a few more gold bars and an even bigger final payday before winter shuts us down. Well, it looks like our local weatherman was actually right for once. Just as we finished hauling that last load of gold concentrate over to our gold cleaning rooms, the clock rolled over to about 5 a.m. and the snow finally started falling here in the Yukon Valley. In just a short amount of time, we've already picked up several inches of snow, and I think it's safe to say that our first mining season has officially come to an end. Even just taking a quick look around the mine, you can already see the conditions changing. Our tailings pond has completely frozen over, the ground is starting to freeze solid, and temperatures are continuing to drop. At this point, I think we'd be risking more damage than progress if we tried to keep the operation running. So rather than pushing our luck, we're going to call it here and begin shutting everything down for the winter. Before we completely shut the mine down, though, I'm going to let Slucifer continue running for just a little while longer. there's still a fair amount of paid dirt making its way through the wash plant, and I'd like to give it enough time to process every last bucket of material that's already inside the system. Once everything has worked its way through, we'll come back one final time, clean out the sluice boxes, and recover whatever gold concentrate is left before we officially shut the wash plant down for the season. While Slucifer finishes its final cleanout, I'll begin pulling our Volvo EC950 excavator and all 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks out of the Hillside Cut. We'll get everything parked neatly back at the mining camp, ready to spend the winter waiting for warmer weather to return. After that, we'll head back over to the wash plant, collect the last few buckets of concentrate, and then shut down Slucifer, the hopper feeder, and every conveyor on the mine until spring. From there, we'll make one last trip over to the gold cleaning rooms and gold smelters. I'll make sure every bucket of concentrate is processed, every gold jar is melted down, and every last gold bar we produce this season is loaded onto our gooseneck trailer. Once everything is ready, it'll finally be time to make one last trip into town and close out year 1 with our final gold sale before winter fully settles into the Yukon. It's probably going to be a bit of an interesting drive too. I wasn't expecting the snow to pile up this quickly, and the roads are already becoming pretty slick. Thankfully, our Ford F350 is equipped with 4-wheel drive, so hopefully we can make it safely into town and back one last time. If everything goes according to plan, we'll finish off our first mining season with one final massive payday and head into year 2 with more than enough money to begin expanding into an even bigger mining operation next spring. What an incredible first year it's been. We started this adventure with a small mining operation over at the Lone Wolf Creek Cut, and over the course of the season, we've slowly expanded into the much larger Hillside Cut, upgraded almost every piece of equipment on the mine, fine-tuned our auto drive routes, and transformed this operation into a highly efficient gold mine. Looking back at where we started compared to where we are now, it's honestly amazing to see just how far we've come in only one season. Unfortunately, with winter finally arriving here in the Yukon, it was time to shut everything down. We got all of our equipment safely parked back at the mining camp, collected every last bucket of gold concentrate from Slucifer, and processed every ounce of gold we could before the snow completely took over. I'd have to say I couldn't be happier with how this first season turned out. We learned a tremendous amount while building this mining operation from scratch, overcame plenty of challenges along the way, and every improvement we made helped us become more efficient and more profitable. Now, thanks to all of those long days in the excavator and all of the gold we've managed to recover, we're heading into year 2 with more money than we've ever had before and endless possibilities for what comes next. Looking ahead, once the snow begins to melt and spring finally returns to the Yukon, we'll fire this entire operation back up once again. We'll head straight back into the Hillside Cut to continue mining the remaining pay dirt, but that's only the beginning. I also have some very exciting plans to expand this mining operation even further by opening up an entirely new mining cut that's going to dwarf anything we've worked on so far. To finish off the season, we loaded up every remaining gold bar and made one final trip into town. That final gold sale brought in another $3,800,000. And with that incredible payday, our bank account has now grown to $13,200,000 as we officially close out year one. With $13.2 million sitting in the bank, we'll finally have the resources to take this series to the next level, and I honestly can't wait to get started. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's been following along with this series and supporting it throughout our first mining season. Watching this operation grow from a small startup mine into what it's become has been an absolute blast, and I'm incredibly excited to see where year two takes us. But that's going to do it for our first mining season here in the Yukon Valley. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me know down in the comments. What would you like to see us invest in first when we return for year two? Should we focus on opening our massive new mining cut, upgrade our equipment, or expand another part of the operation? Thanks again for an amazing first season, and I'll see you all in year two.